Hi students, I'm Abhishek from Vidyaguru, and in today's session on legal reasoning, we will understand the updated CLAT pattern, the new pattern which has been set by the consortium of NLUs, and how to prepare for it. So we will look at the kind of questions which are going to be there in the exam and how to practice for them. But first things first, you must know that it is no longer going to be a test of your legal knowledge. You are not supposed to be a lawyer at the start. You are not supposed to know a lot of legal terms. All you should be able to do is reason out. Reason out, legal reasoning has to be made stronger. So you will be given a passage, and based on that passage, you will have to infer certain rules. From the content given in the passage, you will have to come up with the rules and principles from the information given, and based on those rules, those principles, those legal concepts, you will be given certain questions, certain application based questions where you need to come up with a decision. Let's say a yes or no decision has to be taken, the kind of decision that a judge would take. So stay with me, because whatever we are going to discuss in our CLAT coaching course, that is going to be 100% exam relevant and based on the new and updated pattern. Not even a single bit. Students, not even a single bit of what we do in this course will be as per the old pattern. It will be completely on the new and updated course pattern. So let's get started. Let's look at the first passage in today's discussion. So students, let's read the passage. In the recent past, the police have arrested certain individuals on the grounds of sedition. So now we know that this passage is about the sedition law, and reignited the debate around India's sedition law. So there is a debate surrounding India's sedition law. The latest data, that means the latest information, suggests that the law remains as relevant, as important as ever, with sedition arrests increasing in recent years. The English definition of sedition is nothing but going against your own government. When you start plotting against your own government, when you start plotting against your own country, that is sedition. So sedition falls under section 124A of IPC. So in section 124A of IPC, there is a provision for sedition. And this section states, what does it state? Whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by signs, or by visible representation, or otherwise, brings or attempts to bring. Students, now comes the important part. Brings or attempts to bring hatred or contempt, or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law in India. That means anybody, whoever it may be, if that person tries to generate hatred or contempt, or tries to incite people against the government which has been established by the people of the country, then that individual, that person who tries to generate hatred among people against the Indian government, that person shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which a fine may be added. So the maximum punishment is imprisonment for life, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which a fine may be added. So the point is, there are strict provisions to deal with this sedition. The passage further states, over time and across different parties, the Indian government's position, the stance has been consistent on sedition. So irrespective of which political party was in power, the Indian government's position overall has been pretty consistent on this sedition law. When asked in Parliament, the current Minister of State, the current Minister of State in the Home Ministry was succinct. He was clear and brief. In his response. What did he say? He said there is no proposal to scrap sedition, that they are not thinking of scrapping sedition any time soon. In fact, he says there is a need to retain the provision. So the minister is of the view that we need a sedition law, we need this provision 124A in our IPC to effectively combat. Combat means to deal with, combat means to fight. So he says we require this provision to fight the anti-national element, people who are plotting against their own country. Secession again means something similar. somebody who is going against the government, somebody who is plotting against the government, works against the country, and terrorist elements. So, in order to fight these anti-national, terrorist, and secessionist elements, we need the sedition law. That was the minister's take. So, students, based on what we have understood from the principle of the sedition law given in the passage, we will have to attempt the questions. And now, let's look at the first application question. At a mass gathering, Mr. Nathan, the leader of the principal opposition party, thunders. So Mr. Nathan is the leader, he is a political leader and he belongs to the opposition party. He thunders, the current government comprises rogues, bootleggers and defrauders. So he is calling them names. In fact, he is very, very critical in his response. He is calling them rogue. Rogue means a dishonest person who cannot be trusted at all. Bootlegger, somebody more like a black marketeer, somebody more like a thief, a black marketeer, a thief, a dishonest person, and defrauders. Defrauders, the ones who cheat, the ones who are cheats. So he is calling them names, he is criticizing them very, very severely. He is calling the current government a set of dishonest people, a set of thieves. They ought to be ousted. Oust means to remove. Students, oust means to remove. So he is urging people. Look at it carefully. He is urging people to remove the current government. You must deliver them a strong message in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. So he is urging people to give a strong message to the current government. And what kind of message? By voting them out of power. That during these Lok Sabha elections, the current government must be voted out of power, remove them from power. That is the appeal of Mr. Nathan. Now the government is thinking of bringing a litigation against Mr. Nathan. So will the government succeed in court if it brings legal action against Mr. Nathan? So now we need to look at the provisions of the sedition law once again and whether the court will consider Mr. Nathan guilty or not. Although the criticism by Mr. Nathan seems very harsh, but we need to look at the sedition law once more. And the important part, brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt, or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law. So is Mr. Nathan inciting people to revolt against the government? Is Mr. Nathan trying to excite disaffection towards the government? Students, the answer is a clear no. Why? Although Mr. Nathan is criticizing the government, yet he is within his right to freedom of speech. He is not asking people to revolt against the government or to take up arms against the government. He is not trying to incite any kind of violence. In fact, look at what Mr. Nathan has said. Mr. Nathan has said that these people should be voted out of power. Deliver them a strong message, vote them out of power. So he is urging the people to exercise their democratic rights. He is urging the people to exercise their democratic rights and to vote the people out of power if they believe that this government is dishonest, it's a government that cheats. Then the people should exercise their political power, people should exercise their democratic rights and get this government removed. And that is a process which has been given in the constitution. That is the process of elections has been given in the constitution on which the country works, on which our political establishment works. And clearly, students, Mr. Nathan has nowhere incited any violence or tried to, incite people to rebel against the government or sort of take up arms. He is clearly within his right to freedom of speech. Through the right to freedom of speech as a political leader of the opposition party, he is within his rights. He is exercising his freedom of speech to urge people and vote this government out of power. So he is not out of line. Although he is very, very critical, but he is not out of line. He does not fall under the purview of the sedition law. So the government will not succeed. Will the government succeed? The answer is a clear no. So let's look at the no options which are there. No options are there in B and D. So let's examine them and mark the answer. No, because Mr. Nathan is not guilty of sedition. Yes, that is correct. Mr. Nathan is not guilty of sedition because he is not asking people to rebel against the government. He is not inciting people. He is not generating hatred among people. He is just urging them to use their democratic right and vote them out of power. He is only exercising his freedom of speech in public. Yes, he is only and only exercising the right of freedom of speech which has been given to him by the constitution, and he is urging it, he is using it in public before the people of the country. So B seems to be the right answer, seems to be a very good option. But let's analyze D also before we mark B. No, Mr. Nathan is a political leader who can criticize the government on behalf of the people. Students, the justification given in option D makes it incorrect. The justification is that since Mr. Nathan is a political leader, he can criticize the government and he is doing so on behalf of the people. The justification, the reason given is incorrect. Why is Mr. Nathan innocent? It is clear that Mr. Nathan is not guilty of sedition. That means Mr. Nathan is innocent, and the reason for his innocence, why he is not guilty of sedition, is because he is only and only using his freedom of speech. He is only urging the people, to vote out the government, to vote out this dishonest government, the government which he believes is dishonest, and that privilege, that right has been given to him under the constitution, and that is his freedom of speech. He is not inciting the people, he is only exercising his freedom of speech in public. So with that, we will look at the next question. The answer to question number 1 is B. The second question says, an economics expert wrote a critical article in a news magazine on Government of India's economic policies. That means he has criticized the economic policies of Government of India in a magazine. An economics expert has done so. This critical evaluation generated an academic debate across newspapers. So based on this economic expert's article, a debate erupted in the newspapers, in the media, over the internet, and a student pursuing LLB, pursuing the law program, asked fellow citizens on social media. So he has urged fellow citizens on social media to gather at a certain venue. So when the debate erupted, everything became a hot topic for discussion. So while this was happening, a student pursuing LLB has invited people at a certain venue on a given date to protest silently and peacefully. He has urged them to come to the venue and to protest in a silent and peaceful way against these economic policies. So what has been given to us till now? The economics expert writes an article. That article somehow gains traction. People start discussing it all across media, internet, all across. And then a student pursuing LLB, he invites people over for a silent and peaceful demonstration against these economic policies. But what happens now? The people assembled at that venue. People assemble at that venue in large numbers on the call of this student pursuing LLB. So when people assemble in large numbers, they start shouting. Somehow these people start shouting anti-government slogans. So when they are gathered, these people start shouting anti-government slogans. The police arrested the expert subsequently. So now what has happened? The police have arrested the economics expert. Will the police succeed in the court? So students, this expert has been charged with sedition. He has been charged with sedition by the police. So will Will this sedition charge hold in a court of law? Will the police get a decision in favor from the court of law? Let's see. Ask yourself, has the economics expert, tried to incite people against the government of the country? Has the economics expert urged people to rebel against the government of the country? Has he excited any sort of hatred or generated any sort of contempt among the people for the government of the country? The answer is a clear no. He has only and only, students, he has only and only criticized the economic policies of the government. He has only and only criticized the economic policies of the government. He has not tried to incite people. He has not tried to induce them into going against the government. He is not trying to generate hatred or contempt in the people of the country with respect to the government of India. So a clear no to any sedition charge. It's a clear no to any sedition charge. That is for the expert. Now let's think of the student pursuing LLB. Can he be held? Can he be held guilty of sedition? That is also one aspect we need to consider. Again, the answer is a clear no. The answer is a clear no because the student had only urged people for a silent and peaceful protest. He had urged people to gather at the venue for a silent and peaceful protest. He did not generate any sort of hatred or contempt against the government. He did not induce people to rebel against the government. He only and only asked for a silent and peaceful protest. And this silent, peaceful protest, students, this silent and peaceful protest is clearly a democratic right, and even the student pursuing LLB is simply innocent of the sedition charge. He cannot be held guilty of the charge of sedition because he only invited the people for a silent and peaceful protest. So clearly the police are not going to get a conviction. Will the police succeed in the court? No, not at all. So option B and option D need to be analyzed. Let's look at option B. Option B says, okay, will the police succeed in the court against the expert? B says no, as the student pursuing LLB is liable, not the expert. B says it is the student who is pursuing LLB, that individual, that LLB chap is guilty of sedition. He is liable for sedition, not the expert. And we have clearly seen neither the expert nor the student, neither the student nor the expert is guilty of any sedition charge. So B is simply out of question. So the answer has to be D. But let's look at why D is the answer. No, as the criticism of government policies does not amount to incitement of people against the government. Precisely the answer. The expert has only and only criticized the policies, the economic policies of the government. And is a criticism of government's policies the same as inciting people, breeding hatred in people? Simply not. The criticism is allowed. The criticism of government policies, economic policies is definitely given, allowed, and it cannot be, students, it cannot be equated to, it cannot be the same as, it is just not the same as inciting people against the government. So students, D becomes the right answer without a doubt. And with that, we come to the end of today's discussion. I hope you have understood the approach with which we are going to attempt the legal reasoning section of the upcoming CLAT examination. So if you want to continue as a student, if you want to enroll in our CLAT coaching program, then the numbers are given on your screen and you can definitely call our online team and get complete information about this course, which is starting from the 1st of April. So the 1st of April, our CLAT coaching batch, our online CLAT coaching batch is going live. To know more about these videos, these courses, you can call our team and you will do well in CLAT as well. Thank you so much.